Today is Thursday. I am Drishti and आज हम cover करेंगे topics that were in news in the past week and past couple of days related to your polity and governance. आज है आपकी 25th class and today we are going to cover a couple of interesting topics. As you all know, we recently celebrated our 75th year of independence. ठीक है, many congratulations to all of you, and there are a couple of things we are going to discuss today that revolve around that particular topic. Right? एक बार आज का index देख लेते हैं. What is the index for the day? So we are going to discuss PESA Act. PESA Act, I hope आप सबने पॉलिटी में पढ़ा होगा. PESA Act has been in news for quite a while, quite some time now, and basically it is in news. Why? Because Gujarat में आम आदमी party is about to jump into the whole playground of elections, and there they have mentioned a couple of things about PESA Act, how they are going to make it better for the tribals there. So this has been in news for the same reasons. Then we are going to discuss about Postal Pincode. Postal Pincode, postal services in India, they have completed their 50 years altogether, and it is a huge milestone that was celebrated. Thoda sa we'll see about this. Now we are going to see a couple of things about cooperatives and how GEM portal, popularly known as GEM portal, what is the relation between these two and how this is helping the cooperatives. GEM portal is helping the cooperatives altogether. Fourth, we are going to discuss flag code of India. See, on 15th of August, Independence Day, there were a lot of initiatives. One popular one was Har Ghar Tiranga, where your flag hoisting was done. Almost in every house there was a flag was placed, right? Outside every house people had flags on their vehicles and everywhere. But the very next day, the amount of flags that were lying on the roads show that how dire the situation is and how this is actually a punishable offence. So we are going to discuss a couple of things about flag code of India, what rules and regulations they regulate the flag code of India and how it has to be disposed, right? So सबसे पहले we are going to discuss today your question for Seize the Mains. Seize the Mains is the free initiative we have started for you people. What you can do is you can actually this is the question from your mains perspective. PESA we are going to discuss in detail आगे, ठीक है. The question is the Panchayat Extension to the Scheduled Areas Act, PESA Act of 1996 has a long road to cover to realize its objectives, ठीक है. So if you see, the question has two parts. First of all, objectives has been asked, and second of all, how the improvements can be made, that has been asked. You have to give a whole historical background, etc, etc. Sara kuch you have to provide. So we are going to discuss that. This question you can post it on our website, right, and there it will be evaluated by our expert team, and then you can take the maximum benefit for your mains exams preparation, right. Let's get started. सबसे पहले देखते हैं PESA. So why PESA was in news? Because as I told you regarding, it was in news because of its implementation in Gujarat, and Gujarat में काफ़ी time से this has been in news. Why? Because even when Statue of Unity जो बना था सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल का monument है, even at that point of time a lot of tribals were displaced, where whole PESA Act जो है it was neglected, right. There were huge violations both on legal grounds and human rights grounds. So वहाँ से the protest has been rising time and now again. So recently also it has been in news, but right now it has been in news because of political and electoral concerns. But PESA का importance has always been there. Now Gujarat particularly, if you see, it notified the State PESA Rules in January of 2017, right. Now if you see the whole of Gujarat, a major chunk of it comprises of the tribal areas. So if you see, there are about 4,503 Gram Sabhas under 2,584 village panchayats, जिसमें there are tribal talukas in around about 14 districts. So this is a huge chunk of tribal population that is present in Gujarat. All over India there are around 10 states which have huge tribal population. In Gujarat mein, the major chunk of tribal population are Bhils, which comprise of your majority section of ST population in Gujarat, right? Now, Gujarat की अगर बात करें तो again, as I told you, it is among the 10 states and they comprise of around 8.1% of the ST population. Tribals are concentrated basically in the eastern districts, जो आपका राजस्थान का border है, मध्य प्रदेश, the central India and Maharashtra borders. There are 11 major tribes in Gujarat, as I already told you, but majority are Bhils. Now, अगर हम PESA की बात करें, 1996 there are few highlights. Now, 73rd and 74th Amendment Acts, they came into force in April 1993 and you all know, you all must have read in Polity, किससे related थे वो, ठीक है? So, they were related to your Panchayati Raj institutions. But what happened was, that particular 73rd and 74th Amendment Acts could not be applied to your tribal populated areas, scheduled areas, basically because they were inhabited by tribal population and इनको exempt कर दिया गया था from these new amendments. Why? Because there were low human development indicators and hence it was promoted that on the principles of Gandhian line, your article 40, वहाँ पे self governance should have been promoted. Therefore, self governance in scheduled areas were promoted through PESA Act. Now, PESA Act was enacted in 1996 and it came into force on 24th December 1996. Now, if you talk about the applicability of PESA Act, it is applicable in 5th schedule areas. Basically, it deals with the administration of districts, administration of districts which are dominated by tribal communities. It is right now in force in 10 states in the country, 6 states, that is Andhra Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Rajasthan and Telangana. They have notified PESA rules. But even after these many years, even since 1996, you can see the remaining 4 states, that is Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh and Odisha, they still have not implemented PESA in their whole soul manner, and this has been a point of contention between the human rights activists, tribal activists and the government, state governments, also the central government for a long period of time. If you talk about Gram Sabha, the Gram Sabhas under PESA, they were interested with a couple of powers. What all they entailed? They are going to enforce prohibition or they are going to regulate or restrict the sale and consumption of any intoxicant. Okay? So, if you see amongst tribals, substance abuse comes out to be one major problem. So basically this has to be controlled, intoxicants were to be controlled. So this was pointed out there. Now ownership of minor forest produce, it is the whole sole right of tribals of that area. So that was to be taken care of. There were provisions to prevent alienation of land in the scheduled areas. Basically the big multi corporations or the land mafias, they come into play and they grab the lands which actually belongs to tribals. So to prevent that to happen, PESA Act was enacted and ultimately manage village markets by whatever names they might be called. Now also they had to exercise control over money lending to scheduled tribes, basically the vicious cycle of local money lenders and sahukars, unse bachane ke liye this had to be controlled. Then there had to be a control over institutions and functionaries in the social sectors, that had to be taken care of. Also, there were control over local plans and resources for such plans, including tribal sub-plans, right? What Rohit says, in short form, this is popular PESA states. Yes, correct Rohit, right. Let's get forward. Now PESA implementation, if you see in past 26 years how it has panned out, if you see the significance of it, it has basically entrenched on the lines of Gandhian concept of Gram Swaraj as construed in our article 40 of Indian Constitution. Then it basically promotes the concept of Jal Jangal Zameen, where the water, the land and the forest that actually belongs to the tribals of their area and that is the prime source of their livelihood. So this forms the basis of Atmanirbhar Bharat, right? If you see how history has mistreated them, not treated them in a fair manner, if you talk about historical injustice, so to erase the historical injustice that has been done to the tribal community, PESA has played a huge role in the governance and providing a dignified life to the tribals. Now if you see, there are a couple of issues जो आपके question का second part है, it has a long way to go. Here issues they come into play. What are the issues? See, there is a problem with implementation and performance by the states. Till now, only 40% of the states, they have not even formulated the necessary rules that are important for PESA, which highlights how states have remained cold to the needs of tribals due to reasons whatsoever, right? 4 states, if we talk about Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh and Odisha, they have no rules for the implementation of Act. Again, it has been 26 years and there it is almost it will be 3 decades now, and still the action is zero, right? Now, not a single state, if you see this, not a single state out of 10 states has amended the Panchayati Raj Act as required as per PESA. Okay, so if you see 10 के 10 states, how lightly they take the conditions of tribals to be, and this is the reason the human rights activists have been pushing it to their tooth and nail to actually fight for the rights of tribals. Now, even in the states where rules were formulated, they performed quite poorly. So, अगर आप statistics देखो तो they have not performed really well. Non-uniformity की बात करें तो while construction of Gram Sabhas, it was made mandatory. Sorry about this. While construction of Gram Sabhas was made mandatory in states, the powers and functions of the Gram Sabha, they have been left to the discretion of state legislatures. So, ये एक major loophole निकल के आता है कि even if Gram Sabhas, you give them power, the basic inherent power, it lies with the state legislatures. तो एक पॉइंट पे आके दे ओनली एक्ट एज डमी रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स, ठीक है, ये इशू मेन निकल के आ रहा है. नाउ एज अ रिजल्ट डिफरेंट स्टेट्स दे हैव एनैक्टेड डिफरेंट पावर फंक्शंस एंड नोटिफिकेशंस फॉर पीसा, जिसकी वजह से इशू आ रहा है. नाउ एज आई ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू, ये मेजर इशू आया था. एग्जाम्पल की बात करो, स्टैच्यू ऑफ यूनिटी जब आया था, 121 विलेजेस को ऐसे ही उजाड़ दिया गया था, which directly came under PESA and was a gross violation of the rules that were to be followed. Another example की बात करें तो there was a criminalisation of Pathalgadi movement where Adivasis, they actually erected stone slabs अपने एरिया को डीमार्क करने के लिए, ठीक है, तो उनको क्रिमिनलाइज कर दिया गया था. ये एक मेजर इशू निकल के आया. ऑल्सो आपका जो पीसा एक्ट है, इट कम्स अंडर conflict with other legislations. कैसे? After enacting PESA, the union government brought several other legislations and which it included many provisions of PESA Act, basically shadowing its purposes. For example, अगर आप Land Acquisition Act की बात करो of 2013, it empowers Gram Sabhas immensely. Also, Forest Right Act की अगर आप बात करो 2006 की, it has provisions for PESA, and now when people need to protect their rights, they look up to these laws. But there have been surpassing legislations. There has been a push for corporate entry because capitalism कहीं ना कहीं overpower कर रहा है, and there has been a control of money mongering, control of the Gram Sabhas altogether because of some reason or another. ठीक है, तो ये वाले issues have been coming up time and again and they have to be countered. See, what can be the way forward? You can write as many examples as you think are fit for this. I am giving you a couple of points. For state governments, जो violation of act and dilution and highlight pattern जो है, both with the center and the state governments, that has to be kept in check, right? उसको हमें check में करना पड़ेगा and we'll have to try कि वहाँ पे कोई loophole ना निकल के आए. Again, जो state governments हैं आपकी, they need to change their laws in order to comply with the PESA Act. तो ये एक जो coldness वाला, जो 10 की 10 states ने पंचायती राज एक्ट के एसोसिएशन में PESA में कोई चेंज नहीं लेके आए या रूल्स ही फ्रेम नहीं करे हैं, that will have to be checked right now. If we talk about civil society, there is a need for civil society movement and NGOs that they ensure that there is a better implementation of the PESA Act, since it will help the tribal people on a larger level. All in all, if we say PESA is a good act, good in spirit, good in laws, loopholes बहुत सारे हैं, they have to be fixed, but it can only work for the tribals if it is taken seriously and is implemented properly through and through. ठीक है? So this is your answer. Again, you can see the question. You can see the PDF which you can find in the Telegram group just after the session. Right? यहाँ से आप points ले सकते हैं. Also, you can put in some your points, what your point of view is regarding the question. ठीक है? Now, वहाँ से आप answer frame करिए. You can post it on our website and we'll make it sure that it gets evaluated well in time, free of cost. Right? Now, let's come back to our second topic. The second topic is for today is Postal Pincode. Now, Postal Index Number, the PIN number, it has completed 50 years in India and it coincided with your 75th year of independence. So, this is a huge achievement. Now, if we talk about, according to the Department of Post, there are 23,344 offices. Primarily, they were earlier scheduled in your urban areas at the time on 15th of August 1972. But धीरे धीरे to make villages connected, earlier the postal department only dealt with your posts, then your postal payment banks and everything. Stuff evolved. Then there were provisions of RDs, FDs with postal banks, etc., etc. Then postal department ventured into n number of departments altogether. Now, if we talk about who pushed for all this majority, if you see, so it was Shriram Bikaji Velankar, who was basically your additional secretary in the Union Ministry of Communications in the Department of Posts and Telegraphs, right? To segregate the mails, yes. Do you have any doubt, Rohit, or just you're giving your opinion? I don't understand. I hope you don't have any doubts. Okay. Now, what the objective was? Objective was, it was meant to ease the process of mail, basically to sort it. Okay, cool. Now, objective kya tha? It was meant to ease the process of mail sorting and delivery in the country in the different places. See, the country, if you see, India is the 7th largest country when it comes to area. So, basically, जो आपका area था उसके division के लिए, a pin code has to be formed so that the systemic delivery of the post could take place. So, pin basically it comprised of 6 digits. First number indicates whether what is the postal region, north, east, west, south. Then, if the number is 9, it signifies it is actually an army postal pin code. See, I'll show you the example. So 456001, 4 is the region in India. It can be north, east, west, south. Then 5 is sub-region, 6 is certain district, and last 3 digits belong to your post office of your sub-region. This is done by the postal department to have the effective delivery system in a particular tehsil or sub-tehsil. ठीक है? Different villages, even in a city, there are different postal last ending letters of the same code. ठीक है? Now, if you talk about the second number, it denotes a sub-region, as I told you, and number 3 is the certain district. Remaining numbers, they narrow the geography further, basically to make the delivery easier. Right? So, this was the news. I felt it was important, so we have covered this. Now, let's come to our third topic. Your third topic is cooperatives. They have been able to register on GEM portal, and wahan se there have been tremendous responses, and it is providing benefit to the cooperatives that have been listed. क्या है पूरी story एक बार देखते हैं. Now, over 300 cooperatives, they have been onboarded as buyers on GEM portal, which has enabled them basically to purchase goods and services at competitive prices. First phase में all the eligible cooperatives with a turnover and deposits of 100 crore will be able to start placing order on your GEM portal, right? Now, sorry about this. Now, what happened was this whole judgment actually it came in out in July. Earlier, cooperatives were not allowed to take part on your GEM portals, but around 6th or 7th July, this whole judgment came, and since then they have been allowed. Since then, around 300 cooperatives, they have been given first chance to register on the portal. Now, what it will do is, it will provide a huge platform for cooperatives to sell their products on a large pool of government buyers. Now, GEM portal will be very useful in bringing transparency in the cooperative sector, and जो small business units हैं, small milk producers organization हो गई, farmer organization हो गई, they will have a huge trust on the government and the services provided altogether. Until now, if you talk about them, government cooperatives, they are purchasing goods and services from the markets itself. अगर हम GEM की बात करें, what is GEM? It is one-stop national public procurement portal. Please remember this, it is a national public procurement portal basically to facilitate online procurement of common use goods and services which are required by various central and state government departments, organizations and public sector undertakings. 100% इसमें जो share है, that is of government owned company which is registered under section 8 of Department of Commerce, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, right? So Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Industry के under registered है under the Companies Act. So this is how your GEM functions. If we talk about cooperatives, cooperatives are basically a voluntary association of individuals which have common needs who join hands for the achievement of common economic interests. Now basically अगर हम बात करें, इनका aim is to serve various sections of society. The basic principle how they function is mutual help. ठीक है, they form a organization, they help themselves out and competitive but reasonable pricing पे they sell their goods. The best example how cooperative was started were Amul, when everyone pushed for its failure, but till now Amul has been surprising all over India, surpassing all their expectations and turning into a multi-million industry, right? If we talk about world cooperatives, it has been included under Article 19C of the Part 3rd of Indian Constitution. Similarly, a new Article 43 was added in DPSP Part 4, right, which promotes your promotion of cooperative societies. Now, in the 97th Amendment Act of 2011, a new Part 9B was added where your cooperatives were added, basically where it was pushed that state should actually help cooperatives out in various means whatsoever so that they can actually have a better living conditions and provide more employment opportunities, also to upholster the spirit of self-governance altogether, right? Now, last year a separate Ministry of Cooperation was created by central government, and their vision of Sahkar se Samriddhi, that was their vision which has been pushed since then, and iski implementation dekho to this has been going on for a while now, right? Now we'll discuss your topic 4th for today, your last topic for today. We'll discuss the flag code of India. So there was this Har Ghar Tiranga Initiative. Now if you talk about the Indian national flag, its importance has been there even before India achieved its independence, right? Now the whole story of how a flag should be treated, how it should be disposed of, it has been listed under Flag Code of India which came on 2002, right? If we talk about the basic colors, I hope you all know, I'm just putting the slide for a quick revision. So saffron signifies courage and selflessness, white signifies peace and truth, your Ashok Chakra, it signifies justice and progress, and your green signifies prosperity and fertility. I hope ये वाली चीजें आपको basic पता होंगी. Now, what is basically the Flag Code of India? Flag Code of India, it brings the laws, practices, ठीक है, conventions. You must know what is the difference between these things: laws, practices, conventions and instructions. In सब में एक एक difference है. These are not the same things if you talk about them in very proper terms. So your homework is, you will find the difference between these four terms कि है क्या, right? Now there are certain rules which are associated with the flag under one title. So Flag Code of India, it deals with everything. It basically acts as a governing tool which keeps a check on how you'll make the flag, making of flag, hoisting of the flag and disposal of the flag, right? Basically Flag Code of India की बात करें तो it has three parts. Part 1 of the flag contains a general description of the flag. General description of the flag says its ratio is going to be 3:2, etc, etc. वो सारी details we are going to see ahead. Second part, it contains the ways of displaying national flag by the public, private and educational institutions. ठीक है, फॉरेन में हाउ फ्लैग इज डिस्प्लेड, अब्रॉड में, राइट, पर्टिकुलरली यूएस यूके, वहां से, और इंडिया में हाउ फ्लैग इज डिस्प्लेड एंड यूज्ड. बहुत ज़्यादा चीज़ें सेंसिटिव हैं इंडिया में लेके, सो ऐसे ही यू कैन नॉट यूज इट. इफ यू रिमेंबर रिसेंटली व्हेन नीरज चोपड़ा वॉन द ओलंपिक मेडल, just after his slot was done with, he actually very properly folded the flag of India, and there was a very peculiar view on, they were keeping a hawk's eye on how he was treating national flag. It is not usually done in the cases of other countries. So India mein there are rules, and it is, as I told you, it is punishable on a huge extent. So that has to be taken care of. And the third part, अगर हम बात करें, it talks about the hoisting of the flag by central and the state governments, also their associated agencies. Now standard dimensions है flag की, it should be rectangular and its ratio should be 3:2. ठीक है, 3 उसकी लेंथ होनी चाहिए, 2 इंचेस उसकी विड्थ होनी चाहिए, 3:2 जो भी उसका आपका मेजरिंग यूनिट है, 3:2 का रेशियो होना चाहिए. In addition, अगर बात करें तो there should be description that talks about material that shall be used to produce Indian flag. There was an amendment that came in December 2021 where government allowed that there can be use of polyester and machine made flags. Earlier it only used to be silk and khadi, but now other materials that can be used for the manufacturing of flag are cotton, silk and khadi. ठीक है, तो these changes have come since December 2021. If we talk about hoisting and disposing of tricolor, the code basically it directs to prevent the flag from touching the ground floor. ठीक है, जमीन नहीं छूना चाहिए आपका flag, ये basic tenet है. Now the code also prohibits कि आप damaged, torn या कैसे भी उसमें hole हो, वो वाला flag hoist नहीं करेंगे, वो वाला झंडा नहीं फहराया जाएगा. Now according to again the flag code, national flag, it should not be used as any form of costume, uniform or accessory. Even if you see countries like Spain, countries like US, UK, वहाँ पे you can wear t-shirts and there are n number of costumes, apparel जहाँ पे flag use किया जा सकता है. India में it is strictly prohibited. So this is something that has been an issue continuously. Even I remember when Sachin Tendulkar used to play, he used to have a flag on his helmet, and वहाँ पे भी काफ़ी इसको लेके contradictory जो comments है वो आते थे. So India में it is a very sensitive topic. Now if we talk about disposing of flag, it needs to be done in private and it needs to be done with dignity. इसका भी एक बहुत proper पूरा scenario here that has to be followed. That is why you have to keep it in mind. If you are keeping a flag in your home, please treat it with respect and dignity. Now there are some important cases that have been followed in the country when it came to Flag Code of India and people in general. The important cases are Union of India versus Naveen Jindal, ANR and Supreme Court of India case of 1996. Then there was a case of Inspector of Police versus D. Senthil Kumar. Also, there was a third case of Dr. Varsha, wife of Raj Salunke versus State of Maharashtra Bombay High Court, and this was a criminal case, right? So these were some of the couple of important cases that were related to Flag Code of India. This concludes your session 25th of Polity and Governance. I hope the topics that we have discussed are clear. If you have any doubts, you can mention them in comments. I'll try taking them up in next class. Till then, stay tuned in, keep learning, keep watching. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.